Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tristan Tanner, part of Team Latitude 64. Sorry I haven't uploaded in a little while. I've been really focused on just improving my game and trying to get my tournament finishes up. Been playing a little bit rough, but I'm here at Idlewild. My game's feeling pretty good, and I'd like to show you guys what is in my bag and what I've been throwing for this part of the season after the whole coronavirus quarantine and whatnot. So I'd like to start off with just my putters. I'm going to start off with just my putting putters. I have, first off, my main putting putter is the BT Hard Shield. I went back to these white ones that I was putting with late last season. They're beat up, they feel great, really straight flyers with a good consistent finish, great glide on them. So I've really been loving these things, really confident with these. And then for longer putts, some jump putts, ante putts, stuff like that, I'm going with the Zero Hard Pure. This one's also beat up quite a bit, but really love this for a little bit more glide and a little bit straighter of a flight. Onto my throwing putters, I have my Bite. This one is a super awesome one. Shout out to Josh Burquest from Colorado Springs, Colorado. He hooked me up with this one at Vegas, and this one's super cool. It's a blue sparkle. I don't know if you can see that super well, but I've really been loving this thing. Really early run. Just utility disc, use it for catch before the round, little tricky spinny approaches from close, and it kind of acts as my more understable putter if I need something to hold over really a long ways at a really low power. Then I have one of my Signature Series Pures. You can find these on the Latitude 64 factory store, but just with this Gorilla Deco die stamp on there. This is just a gold line Pure that I've had in my bag for probably about 2 months now. A little bit higher of a shoulder than the Opto lines that I traditionally throw, and a little bit more over stability. Really been liking this. Just the Pure flies straight, flies pretty pure. So really been enjoying this one. I also have a new one that I've been messing around with a little bit that kind of just is probably going to end up making the bag, but it's not in the bag right now. Airplane noise. It's not in the bag right now, but it is going to be in the bag very soon, and that is a Moonshine Pure with the sweet baseball die on there. I got this from my buddy Adam Halford. Shout out to you, Adam. I love this thing. It's pretty overstable for a Pure. I can throw it on a hyzer line and it just holds hyzer the whole way. I can throw it on some soft flexes and stuff like that, but really excited to get to know this one a little bit better. For my other throwing putters, I have 3 harps. So first off, I'll go for the hard harps, which are ones that I only throw forehand. I will never throw either of these backhand. I have this beat up white one. You've seen in the bags before. Really straight flyer. Love it for flip ups. Pop it on a slight hyzer. It'll get up to straight and just go dead straight. Maybe a soft finish at the end, but I can really manipulate this one, make it fly on hyzer, straight, and I throw this one a lot. It's been in the bag for probably about 2.5 years now. Then I have this is my 2020 Van Stamp fundraiser. You can find these on my website actually. I also have a couple more discs in my bag that are going to be listed on my website very soon, but this is a very cool one, double stamp, just a brand new hard harp, overstable forehand shots. I'm gonna wait for this airplane again. Next up, I actually got this VIPX harp from the spotter on the 18th green at Silver Cup. I forget your name, but shout out to you. This one is sick, this rainbow die on the edge. I actually do throw this one a little bit forehand for really overstable forehand approaches, and I like this for little flex backhands. I can really trust this one in wind or anything like that, and it actually has a little bit of skip on the end. I've been really liking this disc. I don't throw it a whole lot, but I'm really glad I have it with me. Next up, I have my mid-ranges. First off, my straight to understable mids. I have 2 gatekeepers. The first off is this yellow special edition one that has been in the bag over a year now. I really enjoy this one for hyzer flips, and I can get this to hold turn. If I throw it on a slight hyzer, it'll flip up, hold to the right, or I can throw it on a more hyzer and it'll flip up and just go straight. I'm throwing this a lot here in the woods at Idlewild, and I really trust this disc a lot. I will also throw this on forehand hyzer flip shots. That just flies a little bit longer than that white harp, but it's a very similar flight. Then I have a VIP X Gatekeeper. These are really nice, a little bit of a dome, but these generally have a little bit of a flatter feel in the hand and a little bit more overstability than the stock run of Gatekeepers. This one I can trust on forehands as well, just because of that stiff feel and a little bit flatter edge on the rim. But really enjoy this one. I can throw this one hard and flat, and I can trust on it to go straight and then have a little bit of fade at the end. Really love this disc. Next, I have my main forehand mid-range, and that is the Lucid X Verdict. I've been throwing this one a lot. I can trust this on a flat line that is going to go straight and then have a hard finish to the left. Flex lines, hyzer lines, I can throw this one a lot, and I can actually get a lot of distance out of this on a forehand. I rarely throw it backhand. It's for maybe some slight flexes or some skip shots, but really I'm glad that I have the Lucid X Verdict in the back. Wait for the plane, 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 plane. Woohoo, planes. This is great. We're right by an airport, and there's a plane above us. Woo! Next up, my most overstable mid-range, and that is the Justice. Currently, I only have this one in the bag, but this red one goes in and out depending on the course that I'm playing. But this is a metallic, again with my 2020 Van stamp on there. The sparkles in this is really nice, really overstable, just like a Justice is. Flex shots, skip forehands, some tricky, maybe upside down shots, stuff like that. Utility disc, don't throw it very often, but I'm glad I have it in the bag. And then I have this Biofusion one that I said just kind of goes in and out of the bag depending on the course. It's just a little bit more overstable than my Verdict and maybe a little bit slower, but this one is really straight for a Justice. I can actually rip on this one flat and get a little bit of straight flight out of it before it has that Justice fade on the end. This one has been in and out of the bag for probably 2 years, 2.5 years. Really trust this disc a lot. Next up, my fairway drivers. My most understable fairway driver is the Optoline Vision. This is one I picked up at Played Against Sports. It's been owned by so many people, a really old run of it. But this disc actually went out of production right before I started playing disc golf, actually about a little over 3 years ago. I picked this up earlier this year, and I have been loving this disc, especially in the woods. I throw this on a lot of forehands and rollers, some late flipping backhands, but this is a really great disc. You might have heard that I got an ace with this at Harmony Bends this past weekend, hole 12, 360 feet, dead straight tunnel shot, through a hyzer flip forehand and aced with this thing. It was super sick. If you haven't ever tried a Vision and you can get your hands on one, definitely try it out. It is one of my favorites. Next up is the Explorer, which is probably my straightest fairway driver. I have two in the bag right now. This pink one has my 2019 Van stamp on there. This is the straighter of the two. I can rip on this one flat and get a little bit of a hold turn out of it and then a straight finish. I'm throwing this on the approach here on 16 on the par 5 to try to go for eagle, and I love this one. Can get a lot of distance out of it and a really controllable straight flight. And then I put in a pretty much brand new 2020 Van stamp Opto Explorer, and this one I can trust to hold a little bit more hyzer. I can pop it on that hyzer line and it's just gonna maybe flip up a touch but then hold it over to the left. I can trust this one on maybe some slight flexes and some trickier shots and also some forehands, but just a little bit more overstable than the pink one, and really enjoy this one. Next are my overstable fairway. I have three Pioneers. The first one is this Proto Pioneer, and this was actually the first Pioneer to make it in my bag. It was overstable when I got it, and it still is overstable, but I can trust this one to flip up a little bit. So I can rip it on a slight hyzer, on a forehand, flip it up, and then it'll have finish. I pretty much only throw this one forehand. I don't really need to throw this one backhand very often, but really enjoy this. Can shape all sorts of lines with it. This is kind of like a really long version of like my White Harp that I mentioned earlier. Really trust this one on a lot of different shots. Next up on the line is this brand new Opto Pioneer with my 2020 Van stamp on there. And this is one that I can trust throwing flat, and it's going to push straight for a good ways and then have a lot of hookup. And it's kind of an interesting flight because it's not super overstable, but it's trustworthily overstable. It's never going to have any turn on it, but it's not necessarily going to try to hook up right out of my hand, which I really like. And again, this stamp you can find on my website right now. The last one is one I picked up at the distribution center while I was at DD Open in Emporia, Kansas, and this is a match play stamp from last year. And this one's really overstable, actually. Really flat, a little bit stiffer of a rim, and this really bright orange color. This one I can trust on some more flexes, and I will throw this one backhand for some flex shots and some hyzers when I need a little bit more consistency than maybe one of my other Pioneers or my Explorers. Next up on the line is my getaways. I have two getaways in the bag right now. These are kind of my hybrid driver, kind of between a distance driver and a fairway driver. I can get some closer to distance driver distance, but still keeping that fairway driver reliability and versatility control. So first one is a proto getaway that I have right now, a blue one. This one's pretty close to max weight, 173. Got a good pop top on the top. And this one just has a lot of glide. I can rip it on a hyzer. It's gonna flip up flat, go straight a long way, and then have a good finish. I can really bomb this if I put this over on some flex, and it just comes out, can throw it well over 500 feet if I want to, with plenty of control. Really love this disc. And then a new disc to my bag that I started throwing at DD Open are Fusion X Getaway. And this one has a double stamp on the bottom. So this is my 2020 bottom stamp, van stamp, and these are going to be posted to the website very soon. I've been working on it, but I've been very busy trying to get some pictures of these taken, but these will be up very soon. These are super nice, flatter top than the Getaway normally has, but still by no means flat, still has a good dome, but a much stiffer feel, very grippy, and these are overstable. I can really trust ripping this over and flat, and just it's going to push straight and then fade at the end, but getting more distance than my Pioneer. I a lot of times will opt for this on a backhand more than a Pioneer just because the feel in my hand. I'm just a little bit more comfortable with this right now. But really great flight. Be waiting for these to drop on my website. Next up, I will go to my Ballista Pros. I have 4 Ballista Pros in the bag right now. From most understable is this next gen stamped gold line. This is one of the flat top ones. A lot of people talk about the domey next gen gold lines, and I actually like these flatter ones better. Really use this a lot forehand. I pretty much only throw this forehand. If I'm throwing it backhand, it's probably for a roller or like an inside out hyzer flip, but I can throw this one on a slight hyzer on a forehand and it'll flip up, maybe move a little bit left and then fade. I can throw this up to 500 feet on a forehand and really love this one. Next, I actually just had to put this one in just probably 15 minutes ago because I lost the one that was in its place earlier today. But this one is just going to be, I've thrown it before, but it's just going to be throw it on a hyzer. It might get up to flat and push straight and then fade, but it's never going to turn and hold left or have to worry about it turning. I'll also be throwing this for my absolute bomb backhands where I can throw it on a slight hyzer, flip it up, let it ride to the right a little bit, and then fade. This is also just a Jordan Castros Minnesota stamp. I traded this one for with him last year, and I'm really glad it finally has made it to the bag. Next up, gold line. This is more of a beat up gold line one, but it's a pop top, and I really love this one. This is my main backhand distance driver. I can throw this on a good hyzer and it'll get up to flat, go straight, and then fade. I don't really have to worry about this one turning over very much, and this one absolutely bombs. I'm throwing this on quite a few holes out here. If I want an absolute distance shot, I can put this one up in the air and throw it flat, and it'll get some good turn and hold over to the right and then fade. But this one's really trustworthy, and I throw this one a lot. And then next, I have one of these matte white gold lines, and this one's super pop toppy. I really enjoy this one. This one's pretty overstable. I can trust it on hyzer lines and some flexes. If I need a really overstable forehand, I might go to this one. But if I want something more overstable than this, new disc to the bag. Started putting this in over quarantine, and I'm really excited I did, and that is the Defender. So I've never bagged anything more than the Ballista Pro for a while. The last time I bagged anything else was, well, like closer to the beginning of the year last year with the Enforcer, but I just couldn't find the Enforcers that I really liked very much anymore, and I ended up trying out the Defender again, and I really enjoy it. This is a 2020 Van Stamp on a Lucid Defender. This one's got a little bit more beat up to it now, but I can rip this on some forehands that just flip up, like maybe just a touch, tip up to flat and then fade. Consistent overstability. I'll throw this more into wind or when I need some more hyzer forehands or maybe even a flex line. Really enjoy the Defender. And then I have this more pearly run. This run is the most overstable run of Defender that I could find. Pop top, stiff rim. You can trust this on flex lines, hyzers, skips at the end. Throw this on forehand, chop over shots. Really enjoy this disc, and again, really glad that I decided to put the Defender in the bag and have a more overstable distance driver, because it's really opened up a whole lot of more shots in my game that I didn't have last year. Next, a couple utility discs. This OptoX Stiletto is always in the bag. I throw this for forehand rollers or tomahawks, really long grenades. I can throw this disc really high and let it come down just straight down on the basket. Super nice. Throw it for thumbers, overhands, some chop forehands if I need to really get over on it and then have it skip at the end. But don't throw it very often. And I'm really glad I have it, because I think it's the most overstable utility disc just in disc golf in general, and I really love it. Another utility disc that goes in and out of my bag, another disc that I got from Jordan Castro, is this Zach Melton Lucid X Enforcer. This one isn't nearly as overstable as the Stiletto. It's probably just a step up from that pearly Defender that I had mentioned earlier. But this one goes in the bag when I need to still have some distance shots but have more overstability. I really like the feel for this one on forehands as well. Just a little bit longer, really dumpy shots. So really enjoy that one. And I actually have one more disc in the bag, and that is my Prime Witness. You guys have heard about this disc before. I throw it for Skamahawks, tricky rollers, and most famously is my grenade flex shot, where I throw it on a grenade and it flips up and it actually starts flying. Thrown it a long ways on some really tricky lines. But if you want to try to pull off some really weird shots, definitely try out the Prime Witness. And that's it for all the discs in my bag. I have this cool Latitude 64 Mini that I really enjoy, this little blue burst one. And I am currently carrying the Core Pro bag. If any of you guys know me more personally, I've always been someone to just pull a cart around. And after playing not so great a couple of weeks in a row, felt like I needed to change something up, and I decided to start carrying this bag. And if you guys have not tried the Core Pro out, it is amazing. Carries so light on the back. I have all of these discs in this bag. Big old putter pocket up top, big old side pocket on the side. I have my 3 harps on this side. Can fit 2 huge liter water bottles on one side of this bag, and just carries super light on the back, and I really enjoy this bag. So if you haven't checked one of these out, definitely do so. But that is it for my in the bag, guys, and I appreciate you guys all tuning in. If you'd like and subscribe to my channel, it really helps me out a lot. I'm going to be trying to put out more content in the future, but again, I've just been really focusing on trying to improve my game and really been grinding on that. So that's why the YouTube game has kind of been taking a hit recently. But I appreciate you guys all tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next video.